Hello students, welcome to my channel Learning History Made Easy. In today's video, we will be discussing about the course and results of 1857 revolt. Before going into the video, if anyone is seeing the channel for the first time or if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and share it with your friends. And also click the bell button to receive notifications whenever I upload new videos. So without wasting time, let us get into today's video. In today's video, as I have told, we will be seeing about the course and also the results of 1857 revolt. So first, let us see about the course of 1857 revolt. Okay, course. So the 19th Native Infantry of Berhampur. So first thing we have to understand is, in last video, we have seen the immediate cause for the revolt of 1857 revolt. Okay. So the immediate cause was the Enfield rifle which was introduced. Enfield rifle, and the rumor was the rifle's cover was covered or smeared with cow and pig fat, and Indian soldiers refused to use it. So if you remember that, you can get a continuation of the course of the war. The 19th Native Infantry of Berhampur, they refused to use the rifled, cartridge, and this 19th Native Infantry was disbanded on 29th March. Again, the 34th Infantry of Barrackpore, they also refused to use this rifle. They also refused to use the new cartridge. And when they were forced to use this, when the British forced them to use it, Mangal Pandey, he killed one British sergeant. He killed a British sergeant. So, the 34th Infantry of Barrackpore also refused to use this new cartridge. When the British forced them to use it, what happened? Mangal Pandey, he killed a British sergeant. And for this reason, Mangal Pandey was caught and he was hanged. Okay, Mangal Pandey was hanged. And this 34th Infantry also was disbanded. Now, another group of soldiers who refused to use the rifle was from Meerut. That is, 85 soldiers from Meerut. They also refused to use this newly introduced cartridge. These the 85 soldiers also were tried and sentenced to long-term imprisonment. They were also imprisoned. Okay, they were also tried. They were also sentenced for long-term imprisonment. Now the sepoys, they rose in revolt. These soldiers were imprisoned and they rose in revolt. And what did they do? They broke open the gates of the jail. Okay, by breaking the gates of the jail. They rose in revolt by breaking the gates of the jail, and what they did is they released all their fellow soldiers. All the soldiers who were imprisoned, they broke open the gates of the jail and they released their fellow soldiers. And what happened was, they rushed after doing this, after the soldiers were released, all of them rushed towards Delhi. And within 2 days, they captured Delhi. Within 2 days, all of them together, they captured Delhi and they proclaimed Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. Bahadur Shah II was declared as the Emperor of India. So this is how this 1857 revolt is spreading towards all parts. So what happened was, 85 soldiers from Meerut, they refused to use the newly introduced cartridge. They were arrested and sentenced and imprisoned for a long term. They rose in revolt. The sepoys rose in revolt by breaking open the gates of the jail and they released their fellow soldiers and they rushed towards Delhi. They captured Delhi and they declared Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. After declaring Bahadur Shah as the Emperor of India, they hoisted the flag of independence. Okay, they hoisted the flag of independence, and the flag was hoisted in Red Fort. They hoisted the flag of independence in Red Fort. Like this, the mutiny started spreading to different parts of India. It started to spread to Lucknow, then Allahabad, Kanpur, etc. It started spreading to different parts. Now what happened was, in June 1857, we are seeing how it spread to different parts. In June 1857, Begum Hazrat Mahal at Lucknow, she rebelled against the British. Begum Hazrat Mahal, she rebelled against British at Lucknow. But what the British did? British attacked Lucknow. They attacked Lucknow and captured it, and Begum Hazrat Mahal finally fled to Nepal. Okay, like that revolt was suppressed. Begum Hazrat Mahal, June 1857, she revolted against the British at Lucknow, and what happened was, British attacked Lucknow and Begum fled to Nepal. So that was what happened in Lucknow. Now on June 5th, 1857, okay, June 5th, 1857, Nana Sahib revolted against British. Nana Sahib, he also revolted against British. And he revolted against the British and captured Kanpur and declared himself as Peshwa of Kanpur. He declared himself Peshwa of Kanpur. The British attacked Nana Sahib with a huge army. Nana Sahib was attacked by the British. Okay, the British attacked Nana Sahib with a huge army, and what happened was, he was joined by Tantia Tope, his loyal servant. Nana Sahib was joined by Tantia Tope, who was his loyal servant, and the British were successful in recapturing Kanpur, and Nana Sahib fled to Nepal. Again, British was successful in defeating them, and Nana Sahib also fled to Nepal. So once more I will tell, on June 5th, 1857, Nana Sahib revolted against the British and captured Kanpur, and he declared himself the Peshwa. The British attacked Nana Sahib at Kanpur with a huge army. He was joined by Tantia Tope, his loyal servant, but the British were successful in capturing Kanpur, and Nana Sahib also fled to Nepal. Later, Tantia Tope also fled. So that was what happened in Kanpur. So next, let us see who revolted against the British. Now, in September 1857, Delhi was recaptured by the British. We already know that in Delhi what happened. Delhi was captured and they declared Bahadur Shah as the emperor. But in September 1857, Delhi was recaptured by the British. The British recaptured Delhi. And Bahadur Shah II was arrested and he was deported to Rangoon. Bahadur Shah II, he was arrested. He was arrested and he was deported to Rangoon. Now in Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi revolted against the British. She also revolted against the British when they refused to recognize her adopted son. There was a reason for this. The British refused to recognize her adopted son. According to the British policy, they refused to recognize her adopted son. So Rani Lakshmibai also revolted against the British, but she was driven out of Jhansi by the British. She was also driven out by the British. Now she was joined, Rani Lakshmibai was joined by Tantia Tope, and they captured Gwalior. Okay. When the British came to capture Gwalior, so when British heard about this, they came to capture Gwalior. British came to capture Gwalior. A fierce battle took place, and in this battle, Rani Lakshmibai died fighting. In the battlefield, she died on June 17, 1858. So this was what happened to Rani Lakshmibai when she revolted against the British. Now after that, Kanwar Singh, he was a zamindar. He also revolted against the British in Bihar. So in different places, revolt is happening against the British as a part of this 1857 revolt. And Kanwar Singh, he also revolted against the British, but he also was mercilessly suppressed by the British. By July 1858, almost all rebellions which was put towards the British were successfully suppressed or put down. We can say it was suppressed or it was put down by the British. Okay, by July 1858, almost all rebellions which was against the British was suppressed or put down by the British. So this was the course of 1857 revolt. That is what incidents happened as a part of 1857 revolt. Now just let us go through the points. The 19th Native Infantry of Berhampur refused to use the cartridge and it was disbanded on 29th March. The 34th Infantry at Barrackpore refused to use the new cartridge. When forced to use, Mangal Pandey killed the sergeant. Mangal Pandey was caught and hanged. The 34th Infantry was also disbanded. 85 soldiers of Meerut refused to use the cartridges. They were also tried and sentenced to long-term imprisonment. The sepoys rose in revolt by breaking open the gates of the jail and released all their fellow soldiers and rushed towards Delhi. Within 2 days, they captured Delhi and proclaimed Bahadur Shah II as the Emperor of India. They hoisted the flag of independence on the Red Fort. The mutiny spread to Lucknow, Allahabad, Kanpur, Bihar, etc. In June 1857, Begum Hazrat Mahal rebelled against the British at Lucknow. British attacked Lucknow and captured it, and Begum fled to Nepal. On 5th June 1857, Nana Sahib revolted against the British and captured Kanpur and declared himself the Peshwa. The British attacked Nana Sahib at Kanpur with a huge army. He was joined by Tantia Tope, his loyal servant. The British was successful in recapturing Kanpur and Nana Sahib fled to Nepal. Tantia Tope also fled. In September 1857, Delhi was recaptured by the British. Bahadur Shah II was arrested and deported to Rangoon. Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi revolted against the British when they refused to recognize her adopted son. She was driven out of Jhansi by the British. She was joined by Tantia Tope and they captured Gwalior. When British came to capture Gwalior, a fierce battle took place and Lakshmi Bai-died fighting in the battlefield on 17 June 1858. Kanwar Singh, a zamindar, revolted against the British in Bihar. He was mercilessly suppressed. By July 1858, almost all the rebellions had been successfully put down by the British. So this was the course of 1857 revolt. Now let us see the causes for the failure of 1857 revolt. That is, why did the revolt fail? Causes for failure of the revolt. See, the first main cause, if we see, was the revolt was not nationalistic in character. Nationalistic in character. See, what happened was, the revolt was confined only to central India. Central India. It was not nationalistic, that is, it was not spread all over India. It was confined only to central India. And if you see the Rajputs, the Sikhs, the Bengalis, and the Maharaja of Kashmir, etc., all of them supported the British. these people supported the British. So British were getting support from India itself. First of all, it was confined to central India, and Britishers got support from Rajput, Sikhs, Bengalis, Maharaja of Kashmir, etc. They supported the British. Also, British got support from big zamindars or rich merchants, moneylenders, etc. also supported the British. So there was more support to the British from Indian side. So that is why the first cause for failure of the revolt was nationalistic in character, and the British got a lot of support from India. That was the first cause. Now the second cause for the failure of the revolt, if you see, the educated Indians did not support the revolt, all the educated Indians, they did not support the revolt. Why? Because they feared the return of the old order. They wanted the modern things to be maintained, and they feared that the old order will come back. So the educated Indians did not support the British, and they thought that the British administration, they believed that the British administration would accomplish the task of modernization. That is what the educated Indians wanted. So that is why they supported the British. Now the third thing was the rebel did not have a right leadership. No right leadership. There was no proper leadership for the revolt, and storage of weapons. There was no proper storage of weapons, and they did not have a common plan. There was no common plan. All these were also a point in causing the failure of the revolt. There was no right leadership, there was no proper storage of weapons, and they did not have a common plan. So that also became an important cause for the failure of the revolt. Now the fourth cause, if you see, as per the plans, the revolt was to begin on 31st May. The revolt was to begin on 31st May 31, 1857. But what happened? The soldiers revolted earlier. Okay, soldiers, they were in a hurry and they revolted earlier. So it did not happen according to the plan. So it has to happen according to the plan. The plan was to begin the revolt on May 31st, but the soldiers, they were in a hurry and they revolted earlier. And one more thing was, there was no common aim among the rebels. There was no proper plan and there was no common aim among the rebels. And also finally, if you see, there a well organized army, able commanders, all these things were there on the British side. The British had well organized army, then able commanders were there for the British, commanders were there, then continuous supply of arms or weapons were there, supply of arms continuous were there, then financial resources were there, financial resources, all these things were on the side of the British. British had all these things on their side. So this helped the British to suppress the revolt. So all these were the causes for the failure of revolt of 1857. Now finally, let us go through the results. What was the results of the revolt? The first thing, it gave the English a taste of Indian patriotism. A taste of Indian patriotism. The British understood what Indian patriotism is. It gave them a taste of Indian patriotism. Second thing was, it brought a kind of unity among the Muslims and Hindus. Okay, it brought a kind of unity among Hindus and Muslims because they fought together against a common enemy, that is British. Next one, the rule of East India Company. The rule of East India Company was abolished. As a result of 1857 revolt, the rule of East India Company was abolished and the rule was taken over by British Crown, took over the administration of India. Then the famous Queen Victoria's proclamation. Queen Victoria's issued her famous proclamation in 1858, according to which some promises were given to the Indians. Okay, so what were the promises given to the Indians as a part of Queen Victoria's proclamation? First one is British government. They said that they will not annex any more in Indian states. They will not annex any more Indian states. That was the first promise given to Indians as a part of Queen Victoria's proclamation. Then the next one was the Indians will have the right to adopt. Okay, right to adopt. The right of Indian kings to adopt were recognized. Indian kings will have the right to adopt. Next one, the British government will not interfere in the religious beliefs of Indians. The British government, they said that they will not interfere. They will not interfere in the religious beliefs of Indians. Religious beliefs of Indians. That was another promise made by the in the Queen Victoria's proclamation. And the last one, Indians will get better opportunities in administration. Indians will get better opportunities in administration. That was the last promise made in the Queen Victoria's proclamation. And the last result of the revolt was the rule of the Mughals. Mughals' rule came to an end as a result of 1857 revolt. So thus this 1857 revolt, when it started, it was a sepoy mutiny. The soldiers were revolting against the newly introduced Enfield rifle. It started as a sepoy mutiny, then it turned as a rebellion of princes. Okay, it later turned as a rebellion of princes. Then later it developed into an Indian rebellion. And finally this 1857 revolt, it finally ended, or it was finally ended as the first war of Indian independence. First war of Indian independence. Okay, so that is how the 1857 ended, and it created a kind of national awareness among the Indians. It created a national awareness among the Indians. So these are the points regarding the results of 1857 revolt. And let us just go through the points. Causes for failure. The revolt was not nationalistic in character. It was confined to only central India. Rajputs, Sikhs, Bengalis, Maharaja of Kashmir, etc. supported the British. Big zamindars, merchants and money lenders also supported the British. The educated Indians did not suppress the revolt, fearing the return of the old order. They believed that the British administration would accomplish the task of modernization. The rebels had no right leadership, storage of weapons, and they did not have a common plan. Many a time they looted the zamindars and merchants. As per the plans, the revolt was to begin on 31st May 1857, but the soldiers were in a hurry and revolted earlier. There was no common aim among the rebels. Well-organized army, able commanders, continuous supply of arms, telegraphs and railways, financial resources, etc. helped the British to suppress the revolt. Results: the revolt gave the English the taste of Indian patriotism. It brought unity among the Hindus and Muslims because they fought together against the British. The rule of East India Company was abolished and British Crown took over the administration of India. Queen Victoria issued her famous proclamation in 1858, according to which the following promises were given to the Indians. The British government will not annex any more Indian states. The right of Indian kings to adopt were recognized. The British government will not interfere in the religious beliefs of Indians. That the Indians will get better opportunities in administration. The rule of the Mughals came to an end. Thus, the revolt of 1857 started as a sepoy mutiny, turned as a rebellion of princes, developed into Indian rebellion, and ended as the First War of Indian Independence. It created a national awareness among the Indians. Important questions. In which year did the First War of Indian Independence occur? 1857. Name the Queen of Lucknow who revolted against the British during the First War of Indian Independence. Begum Hazrat Mahal. Name the Indian soldier who killed the British sergeant in 1857. Mangal Pandey. Who revolted against the British at Kanpur in 1857? Nana Sahib. Why did Queen Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi revolt against the British? Because they refused to recognize her adopted son. What was the immediate cause for the First War of Indian Independence? The British introduced a new Enfield rifle and the cover of the cartridge had to be torn with teeth to load into a rifle. There was a rumor that the cartridge was smeared with fat of cow and pig. Cow was sacred to Hindus and pig was prohibited for Muslims. The Indian soldiers refused to use the rifle. That was the immediate cause. Write any two causes for the failure of revolt of 1857. The revolt was not nationalistic in character. The educated Indians did not support the revolt, fearing the return of the old order. And there was no common aim among the rebels. I have missed that word. There was no common aim among the rebels. Write a note on the course of the First War of Indian Independence that I have discussed in the video under the topic course of the war. Explain the causes and results of the First War of Indian Independence. Causes I have discussed in the last video and results in this video. So you can combine both of those and write the answer, causes and results of First War of Indian Independence. So I hope you have understood all the points very clearly. In case of any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. And also don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Your likes and shares will be of a great encouragement for me to make more and more videos. So I hope to see you all soon in the coming video. Thank you for watching.